Welcome to Vaevictis Asmadi. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. We have 3 lands in the hand. We have Ravenous Chupacabra. We do need that second black source, but the Elves of Deep Shadow, I'm sure Elves will be able to help us out on this one. And then Kodama, I mean, this is pretty much everything you want in opening starting hand. I love it. Let's go and get down Taiga. Let's go and get down the Elves of Deep Shadow for 1 green mana. And then anything else, no. We're going to go and kick the turn to our opponent. We're playing Vaevictis Asmadi, or VA for the rest of the game, because that does not really roll off the tongue. And I think I said it right. So if you're sitting there at home keeping score and, wow, I can't believe Jolt got that right. Yeah, me too. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. It feels like I am. Let's go to get swamped down. Let's go for Kodama's Reach. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Go for that Elves, or yeah, tap down Elves of Deep Shadow. And what we'll probably end up doing is we definitely need to grab another black source. Let's go and go swamp off of this. And since we do have a green source in the hand, we'll go and grab a mountain. It's going to put Swamp onto the battlefield, Mountain into our hand, and then we'll go and kick the turn to our opponent. We're playing VA. Whenever VA attacks, choose for each player, choose target permanent that player controls. Those players sacrifice those permanents. Then each player who sacrifices a permanent reveals the top card of their library, puts that card on the battlefield if it is a permanent card. So, long story short, it's kind of like a, you get to take care of a permanent, and then it's also like a Chaos Warp. So, pretty fun off of that. Playing against Sek'Kuar, Deathkeeper. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, create a 3/1 black and red Graveborn creature token with haste. And if you have not had the experience or the enjoyment of seeing a Sek'Kuar death token, one of the tokens, there's some really gnarly looking tokens. I love it. Looks really good. All right, so we draw into Bloodghast. Let's do this. Do we want to go for Cruel Tutor to leave that up for something on our library? We could if we wanted to. Let's go and get down the forest. So we do have at least 5 total mana at this point right now. We don't really need to take care. I mean, well, Visitor Seer is a pretty good option to go for with Ravenous Chupacabra because they can sacrifice their stuff. Let's do this. Let's go and get down Bloodghast. Yeah, I think I kind of like holding on to Cruel Tutor. It's going to keep us a little bit more open as far as what we need to do. And yeah, right now we're just setting some stuff up. So let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. We could swing in with the Elves, but I like having access to that mana. We'll just go and kick the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, as far as the deck goes, it's been a lot of fun playing Victor or VA. If you're a fan of Jund, a fan of removal, this is everything you want in a commander deck. Now, as far as my particular build, I ended up kind of going with a Jund kind of good stuff deck. There's not really an overall theme to the deck. We do have, like, lands matter and different things like that, which I'll cover. Let's go and tap out for VA. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Let's go and tap out. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Make sure we're not missing anything on a Goblin Sharpshooter. Deals 1 damage and then untap it. Okay. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I always get worried that I'm just going to, like, slam something down and not realize that our opponent has, like, Death Touch or something like that. So go ahead and get VA down, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. We can't swing him with Bloodghast. Yeah, we'll go and do that. Why not? Swing in for 2, knock our opponent down to 27, then we'll go and pass the turn. But yeah, as far as my particular build, it's just kind of like a Jund ramp deck. We've got a ton of options at the 4 and 5 drops that really help us kind of push an alternative game plan. We've got stuff like Oracle, Marin of Clan, we have Omnath, we have coming in at the 5 drops, we have Urabrass, we have Titania, Mazarek, the Gitrog Monster, Wasitora, Grave Titan. So basically what we're trying to do is just really kind of just get a lot of value on the battlefield and then use VA as a, oh man, look at that Goblin Sharpshooter, just ping, 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 ping. Oh, and then go for the throat too. Okay, all right. So we'll see what we're going to go for with Cruel Tutor, but we got our entire board taken care of on that one. Thankfully, though, we get to run stuff like Bloodghast in here to use VA's trigger. Simply making a land drop is going to be able to bring Bloodghast kind of back onto the battlefield, but we do need to do something with Goblin Sharpshooter for sure. That is not exactly what we need to be seeing on the battlefield. Let's do this. So VA's been sent back to the command zone. It's going to be 8 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can go for Cruel Tutor to grab something like Phyrexian Arena. That's going to be us tapping out next turn, or we could just go for a straight just card draw off of Cruel Tutor. I definitely want to take care of Goblin Sharpshooter if we can help it. We are looking at our opponent going for Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper next turn. We don't really have to worry about it after that one. Let's do this. Let's go and tap out for Ravenous Chupacabra. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's go and tap out for Ravenous Chupacabra. We're going to take care of that Goblin Sharpshooter, and then we'll make the land drop down. That way we don't have to worry about Goblin taking care of a Bloodghast. All right, so going to deal 1 damage to us. He's going to get the pea shooter and hit us 1 more time in the head with that hammer. And then we'll go and get Overgrown Tomb down. If we wanted to, we could actually go for Animate Dead on Elves of Deep Shadow. Or actually, if we want to, we go for Goblin Sharpshooter. That would actually work out really, really well on our opponent's stuff, now that I think about it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and shock in Overgrown Tomb, because they get those Graveborn token creatures going. We can just get Goblin Sharpshooter back and then start picking off those Graveborn tokens. Yeah, I think I like those. Let's do that. That'll at least give us something to do until we can get down VA back on the battlefield, and we'll see if we want to set up something with a Cruel Tutor or Chaos Warp. Okay, there we go. Got Goblin Sharpshooter, and then nothing that we can swing in for, so we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, so basically, if you're thinking about building a VA deck, you definitely want to have some sort of recursion like Bloodghast. Another really good option is something like Reassembling Skeleton. You just really want to have, once you get that trigger on the stack, you really want to have it be one-sided for your opponent. You know, maybe you're going to be able to take care of something like Evolutionary Leap. You choose your Bloodghast, it goes to the graveyard, and then you just make your land drop, and you're back in the same spot where you were when you started the turn. So it's definitely something you're going to go for. And then other stuff like Cruel Tutor. So search your library for a card, put it on top. So we can actually use that in addition with Chaos Warp. So if we wanted to set something, it is 6 mana, but it is another line of play that we can get something on the battlefield pretty cheap. So if we want to get Grave Titan down or something like that, we can definitely go for that if we're having trouble pushing past Sek'Kuar. Because VA in this particular deck, it's not necessarily that we're going all in with VA, trying to get VA down as quickly as possible. What we're trying to do is simply just use VA as a closer. Once we have a good enough board state established, we can start to really kind of pick apart we take care of our opponent's board, or we have more than enough value to start swinging in. We can get VA down. It's kind of like the closer in a baseball game. That way it starts coming across, and we can start dealing with our opponent's problematic permanents. Stuff like Goblin Bombardment. We don't really want that to hit the battlefield. All right, so we draw into Arbor Elf. And I think I'm really okay with just, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go for Cruel Tutor, Chaos Warp if we wanted to. But with Goblin Bombardment on the battlefield, I really like leaving up Goblin Sharpshooter in this matchup. Let's go and swing across. Yeah, I like that. Let's go and swing across for 4. It's going to put our opponent down to 23. Yeah, I like this. Let's do that. All right. Coming across for 4. It's going to put him down to 23, and then we'll probably end up getting down Arbor Elf. I think that'd be a good line to go for, because that keeps us open on mana, and we don't necessarily need to go for Cruel Tutor just yet. All right, get down Arbor Elf, and then anything else we're going to go on faster. I just really enjoy thinking about Goblin Sharpshooter. Just as, because whenever I first got into Magic, like, I didn't really play paper Magic. I only played online. And so when I play against people, I would always just, like, I'd be left to visualize the cards myself sitting here at my laptop or whatever. And so I remember I like zombified a Lana War Elves one time, and I just had like the best time imagining like Lana War Elves as an undead zombie. So anytime that I reanimate something from our opponent's graveyard, I always like to imagine them as like a technically it's just a goblin, but I always like to imagine it as a zombie goblin. I don't know, kind of fits on theme. All right, so our opponent's going to get down Catacomb Sifter, which we will definitely be online for taking care of that Eldrazi Scion, and then we draw into an additional land. Let's go and get Catacombs down. We can crack that and use that for Bloodghast if we need to. Let's go and go for Eldrazi Scion. We're going to deal 1 damage to that Scion token. And actually, if they want to, they can go for that Goblin Bombardment. Now that I think about it, yeah, we should have, for those creatures in the battlefield, we probably should have gone for Chaos Warp off of that. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to describe 1 off of that. And what we'll do on this one, we'll probably still go and get down VA, because our opponent, they hadn't really been making their land drops, so we're still in kind of an okay spot after this. All right, so deal 1 damage to Goblin Sharpshooter. And we'll get the untap stat, but it will be in the graveyard, so there's not much we can do off of that. Okay, let's go and push it with Bloodghast and Ravenous Chupacabra. Now, with us swinging in Bloodghast, we're still going to go ahead and crack this fetch land, so even though our opponent's probably going to chump block with Catacomb Sifter, at least it kind of forces them to where they might have to watch out for some sort of -1 trigger to take care of that Catacomb Sifter. So that's what we're going to go for. All right, Catacomb Sifter hits the battlefield. Excuse me, going to block on Bloodghast. Going to send Bloodghast back to the graveyard. Now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 with Arbor Elf. That's going to be just enough for Vaevictis. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for that. Let's go ahead and crack Catacombs, and that way we can get that land onto the battlefield. Let's go ahead and grab, kind of okay on black mana, but it wouldn't hurt to grab an additional 1. Actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and grab let's go and grab Badlands. Going to be able to return Bloodghast back onto the battlefield. We'll go and tap this forest down, then we'll untap it. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Tap the forest down, and then untap target forest, and then we're going to go and tap out for the rest for Vaevictis. Okay, we have Vaevictis on the battlefield, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Like I mentioned, we do have Chaos Warp and Cruel Tutor with Vaevictis swinging across this turn. What we can end up doing is going for Cruel Tutor to put that card on top of our library, and we'll be able to deal with our opponent's board state. So we'll see what they're going to get down. Even if they do end up tapping out for Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper this turn, they're looking at 5 total mana, so that's pretty much going to be what they're going to have to do this turn. And then, it looks like we got a board wipe coming probably. Our opponent went for Goblin Bombardment, targeting ourselves. So might end up seeing a board wipe off of this one. If that is the case, it's not the best. What can we do? So we have Animate Dead. We do have Reanimate. Ooh, Living Death. And we have no Sack Outlet. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. We do have our own Living Death, though. So we can kind of shift this around, but there's really not much we can do in response to that. Okay, yeah. It's going to take care of our board. They're going to hit the graveyard. We do get Elves of Deep Shadow back, which is nice. And so what we might end up doing is going for a Cruel Tutor to maybe go for that again. We'll see exactly what we're going to go for. Now, let's say we go Cruel Tutor, put that on top, and then we'd have to Night's Whisper to draw into it, then we can go for a reset. Or if we would just want it for Toxic Deluge, we can just clear the board out again. Let's go and go for Cruel Tutor. Because do we want Living Death or do we want the other one? Because they're still going to go to the graveyard. There's no creatures, and we'll still end up with that one-sided board wipe. Ravenous Chupacabra enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls. I just don't think we need it that bad. They're going to be able to sack and go, let's do this. Let's go for Cruel Tutor. Let's go and grab Toxic Deluge. I think I like that. We're going to be able to draw into it, and that still puts us online for going for that one. That way we can just kind of reset the board. Let's do that. Where are you, Toxic Deluge? All right, there we are. Toxic's going to go on top. We're going to lose 2 life. Let's go ahead and go tap out for Night's Whisper. That'll give us just enough mana to tap out for Elves of Deep Shadow to draw into it and still make the land drop too. Let's do Toxic Deluge first. It's going to be black. That way we can go beat sticks off of this. 1, 2, 3. We need to tap out for 3 total mana. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to pay 3 life. Our opponent can basically just sack out on Goblin Bombardment. So we're looking at another 4 damage, putting us down to 10. So we do have to be kind of a little bit conservative with our life total going forward off of this. But at least, hopefully, maybe our opponents run out of resources. But it's been some really nice back and forth off of this one. So it's kind of what you always want in a Magic match. And we're going to always yield to this and then always yield to this Goblin Sharpshooter. Okay, it's going to take care of the entire board. Let's go ahead and get down Bloodghast. Not going to pay 2 life on this one since we are at 10 life, and that will bring Bloodghast back onto the battlefield. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, VA has been sent back to the command zone, I think, twice now. So we're looking at 6, 8, 10. 10 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are sitting at 8 mana. We need to get at least a few more mana dorks onto the battlefield or really start hitting our land drops to get VA back onto the battlefield. And that's kind of why I wanted to build this deck as more of a good stuff deck, because whatever we draw into, let's say we draw into Grave Titan or something like that one, or we draw into the Gitrog monster, something like that, we're going to be able to get it onto the battlefield and have a really high impact, or really kind of rebuild our board state, hopefully quicker than our opponent. All right, so we do have Scalding Tarn. Let's go and get that down. Let's go and push in with Bloodghast. Because what we can do is we can go for Chaos Warp on Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper before our opponent even gets a creature down, before they can take advantage of those Grave Titan, not Grave Titan, but those, all right, opponent's going to chump block. I'll take that. Sek'Kuar's going to block. All right, let's go and get down Scalding Tarn. Let's bring it back. Bloodghast is going to come back like, aha, you caught me. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And then let's just make sure on VA what the mana cost is. So that's going to be, yeah, 10 total mana. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are sitting at 9 total mana. So hopefully we hit the land drop next turn. That'll put us on getting down VA, and maybe we can start swinging in our opponent. But I think at this point, we're just going to go and pass the turn. So we do have Chaos Warp. If our opponent does get down some sort of creature, we're going to go for that Chaos Warp on Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper. At least we'll kind of force them to use some of their mana, and then that way we can send Sek'Kuar back to the command zone. It also kind of puts us in a spot where maybe we can kind of tap out for VA and then kind of go from there. But you can definitely see why it's really important to have some sort of haste option. We are running something like Dragon Tempest in here, or I didn't go super heavy on haste, but Fires of Yavimaya, or even simply just running the Fervor, Mazarek, the Death Priest. Okay. Do we want to go for Chaos Warp on Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper? Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for Scalding Tarn first. That way we don't trigger that. Let's go and crack Scalding Tarn. Let's go and go Canyon. Have Canyon come into play tapped. Do we want to... Is Chaos Warp on Sek'Kuar what we need to get going? It's just a 2/2 body out there. Yeah, I think I like that. Maybe they get lucky getting something else back, but if they get any sort of creatures down with Mazarek and Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper, this is going to be really hard for us to get anything going. I mean, they got Evolutionary Leap out there too, so they can automatically kind of start going through there, getting those Grave Titans going. So, and then, we Chaos Warp into Earthcraft. Okay, it's not the worst thing for them to Chaos Warp into. You always want them to at least kind of whiff on that somehow, but not get into Earthcraft. Alright, so opponent's going to get down Mazarek. We'll see what we draw into. One more land on the battlefield will definitely put us online for VA, which will probably end up having to tap out for Gruul Signet. Okay, it's going to get down Gruul Signet. It's going to be 1/2. And then anything else? No, we're going to kick the turn, yeah, because that's going to put us off 1 more mana. It's going to swing it for 2, though. Why not? Let's have some fun. Get the Bloodghast going in. Probably won't. Well, actually, if our opponent ends up cracking on Polluted Delta, they'll be able to chump block on this one. But hopefully, we'll be able to get a lane down. Worst case scenario, if we do have to get down VA and start sacrificing either our lands or something like that, we can definitely get around that. Yeah, it's one of those. I always forget that with Mazarek, that when you sacrifice a permanent, you get a +1 counter. I'm always used to it being a creature. So, all right, that's going to be easy chump block from our opponent. Probably a little bit of a misplay more on our part, since we don't have a land to bring it back out just yet. But you get a game that goes to turn 10, sometimes little things like that happen. But as far as what our opponent's got going on, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they do have 7 mana. So if they want to retap out for Sek'Kuar, they can definitely get Sek'Kuar down. And they're actually in a really good spot to kind of take advantage of Sek'Kuar. So they have stuff like Evolutionary Leap. Now, it does probably help to have Mazarek on the battlefield, so they need some sort of option to get a ton of creatures on the battlefield. So we do have a little bit of time. But with us sitting at 9, and Mazarek kind of breathing down our neck, especially they're going to go for the exploit trigger off Sidisi. That's going to be them sacrificing it. That's going to be additional counter. We kind of need to get something going, because even if we do get down VA on the battlefield, what's going to end up happening is, yeah, they can definitely find some sort of option to get rid of it, or we're just, at the end of the day, we're looking at a 6/6 with an entire board. And that's what makes one of the things playing against Sek'Kuar so hard, is that it's kind of like the VA game plan of you're trying to really take advantage of your creatures dying and getting a lot more value than just having one creature on the battlefield. Because that puts them in a spot where they can go for Earthcraft, they can swing in with the haste options and go for Goblin Bombardment, and then even start to use stuff like Evolutionary Leap, to where they can really kind of start digging into their library to make sure they always have some sort of gas to kind of keep this going. Opponent's going to go for Murderous Redcap. That's going to deal damage equal to its power. It's going to put us down to 7. And then with that Sacrifice Outlet, it's going to deal 1 more damage. 2 puts us down to 5. Yeah, this is going to be pretty hard. We're probably going to have about 1 more turn off of this one. And then, to be perfectly honest, and actually, excuse me, with Mazarek on the battlefield and Murderous Redcap, yeah, that's going to be game. Let's make sure they loop it 1 more time. I just want to make sure I saw that correctly before we scoop up. But yeah, enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter because they sacrifice it. It's going to come back with a persist -1/-1. And they put on, yeah, good game to our opponent. So they're going to be able to loop it out from here. Good game. That's always fun to, that's one of those things where it takes like a 3-card combo. So this is what makes Commander fun sometimes. So opponent's going to get in on this one. They have the Murderous Redcap loop. See if you can't draw a card off this one, what we're going to be looking into. Yeah, we had Oracle and Urnborg, Wood Elves. That would have been nice, but just could not get our board state established. The thing that really hurt us so bad was our opponent had some pretty good spot removal in the hand. We got down VA. Because if we get down VA, then we start taking care of our opponent's permanents. We're in a really good spot to win the game. But since they had that go for the throat, they're able to take care of it. And we're looking at a 6-drop commander. Sends it back to the command zone. So it's a little bit hard for us to, because it was kind of like a shaky 6 mana whenever we got VA down on the battlefield. So then after that, it was really hard for us to keep making our land drops and then kind of going from there. But the thought of going Animate Dead on Goblin Sharpshooter, I did make a little bit of a misplay by not going for that Goblin Bombardment, because that basically would have kept us online for any of those Graveborn tokens. But you can see our opponent built their deck in a manner that they don't necessarily need to have those Graveborn tokens on the battlefield to close it out. But definitely a good game to our opponent. Always enjoy fun matchups like this, and especially Jun versus Jun. It's always fun to get that going. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.